Blog Talk Radio.
Make this an absolute fact. The goal is world peace. That must be our prime responsibility. We are the leader of the free world whether we want to be or not, and therefore we are the only ones that can preserve the peace. And to do that, we must have strength. Meeting this mission is responsibility for preserving the peace, which I believe is a responsibility peculiar to our country, that we can...
President recognizes Mr. Adams of Massachusetts.
Objects of the most stupendous magnitude. Measures which will affect the lives of millions, born and unborn, are now before us. We must expect a great expense of blood to obtain them. But we must always remember that a free constitution of civil government cannot be purchased at too dear a rate, as there is nothing on this side of Jerusalem of greater importance to mankind. My worthy colleague from Pennsylvania has spoken with great ingenuity and eloquence. He has given you a grim prognostication of our national future, but where he foresees apocalypse, I see hope. I see a new nation ready to take its place in the world. Not an empire, but a republic. And a republic of laws, not men. Gentlemen, we are in the very midst of revolution. The most complete, unexpected, and remarkable of any in the history of the world. How few of the human race have ever had an opportunity of choosing a system of government for themselves and their children. I am not without apprehensions, gentlemen. But the end we have in sight is more than worth all the means. I believe, sirs, that the hour has come. My judgment approves this measure, and my whole heart is in it. All that I have, all that I am, and all that I hope in this life, I am now ready to stake upon it. While I live, let me have a country. A free country.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
All right, everybody, Joseph Gibson here, podcasting 8:05 p.m. on the East Coast here in Greensboro, North Carolina. I know I invited a lot of people here to join me here tonight, and of course we do get a lot of people that do try to get in and some can't. And of course, a lot of topics here we do want to discuss, but one of the most important topics that we do need to discuss is what is our last line of defense out there in the American Republic? What is the status of our republic right now? We are in trouble, big trouble. We've been going over this now every single show, every single night now for a while. And we've had a lot of people call in, a lot of things being discussed. We even spoke to the Indiana State Police last night. I spoke to a corporal, and they said, well, you know, it's okay. You know, we're just telling you to stay in your house, but you still have the right to travel. But we're getting news reports in that people are being arrested and they're being fined. What is true? What is not? We do not know. Right now we are in a battle, a spiritual war against good and evil. What side are you going to choose? What is our last line of defense in America? What was our republic established upon? It was the militias, the militia, okay? And I don't think any of you could disagree with me, those of you that understand U.S. history, if you understand it at all, if you've been taught anything about U.S. history. And I've invited people to come on here to this podcast here tonight. Will they take my challenge to come on and speak and make their voices heard? Or are they just undercover federal agents working undercover, hiding under the cover of something that they should not be? Because I'm going to tell you something right now. The darkness out there that you think that you're spreading, light will overcome any type of darkness. There is no room whatsoever that is filled with darkness that has a place for light. The phone number is 657-383-0616. Press the number 1 and I'll get you on. But tonight we do have a very special show that I've been promoting here now over the past couple hours on social media, and I've tried to put it out there for some people, maybe too late, fewer than some, I do not know. However, the fact of the matter remains is that we are here for 2 hours to understand the times in which we live today. And that's what this show is about. Now, I do also have a new co-host with me. His name is Chad. He's from Indiana, and he's been on here. He's going to be starting to do his own show off to the side from what I do here, understanding the times in which you live, God willing, of course, if we're still here. From what I hear, the reports are we're in big trouble, and we got a lot of crap going on worldwide, and a lot of things are starting to be divulged to the people that we foreseen. And we're getting a lot of mixed characterizations about what's really happening and why things are happening. What is happening? Is the Federal Reserve bankrupt? Is the Federal Reserve under arrest by the Patriots? What's going on? Is the Republic being fully restored? We do not know. Do we really know for sure? We listen to our friends on social media. We talk to people on our cell phones that are all monitored and listened to. Our Twitter, our Facebooks, everything. We know that. This has been a big plan. It's a big idea. You heard it in the beginning, in the intro, right? It's a big idea. A new world order. A one world order. A global, no more sovereign independence. You need to be a part of a global community, and you need to go along to get along and be a part of that community, and you need to be a part of it now. Because it seems like right now we are watching this new world order and all this crap unfold right before our very eyes, but you have the naysayers out there, even the ones very close to you, who deny it. And you have the division amongst the most important groups out there, and those would be what? The militia groups out there that have been claiming the patriotic song and tune for so many years now. I was a part of them many, many years ago. I remember, the Randy Weaver story. Yeah, we all heard about that one, the Waco, everything. I remember all that. I was even associated with a lot of the, I guess you could call them the extreme groups, whatever they may be. You leave it up to your imagination. I remember talking to leaders of these groups, sitting down with them, going to parties with them, going to rallies with them. Nothing ever happened. They said, no, another time. Another time, things are going to happen. Well, is that time now? Even I don't know. I've talked to them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on now. But why are we so divided more than ever today? Why are we so mistrusting? Why don't we trust anybody anymore? You know, everyone's got a scam up their sleeve. Everyone's got a game, a card, an ace card, supposedly, that they're going to throw down on you. And, you know, nobody likes this guy because he says the wrong thing at the right time. Nobody likes this guy because he looks the wrong way at the very most supportive time that he should look. You know, what's going on here? Do we really know what's going on? But, well, we all got to turn to God? You know, our spiritual sense, do we have to look and say, hey, there's something out there, there's an intelligent designer behind all this, and maybe he's been talking to us for a long time now, and we're just not getting that message, are we? Because I'm going to tell you right now, don't give me no crap. Science has not cured anything and made our lives any better today than it was yesterday. And if any of you disagree, and I know there's many of you out there, I know I've got studio screens here looking at me in the face, and look, the naysayers out there, I'm going to do my best to keep you blocked out there. But if you want to participate and have some sort of unifying question here you want to propose here tonight that can bring people together and unite each other and stop working against each other, which you all claim to have that notion in mind every time I talk to people, but then out of the side of your mouth, you got something coming out sideways that says the opposite. And we've heard it on this show. What's going on with China? What's going on with Venezuela? What's going on around America right now? What's really happening? What's really happening? And we get the reports. We talk to these people in all different states, and this person says that, but the Fox News says this, CNN says that, you say this, I say that, and you know what? At the end of the day, we're so freaking screwed up. We don't know what the hell's going on, and everyone's saying, you know what? You're all full of crap, and that's just what these people in control want. But you just don't get it, do you? Some of us do get it, and we sit back and we laugh. But we cry at the same time because none of us are unifying and coming together like we thought you would. Now, the question of it is, why are the militias panning out food to the homeless, guarding the senators, doing this, I'm 2% this, 1% that, and this and that, and this is the true history of America? Well, where are you? I got businesses right now here in Greensboro, North Carolina that are closed because they're scared the governor is going to send the state police there to shut them down. Where are you people in the community? Maybe it's not our time yet. Well, when is our time? Tell me, when is our time? When is the time? Everyone says they're going to have a place at the table. When, where, and how? Let's stop talking in codes. Let's be frank with each other. Let's have transparency. And without further ado, let's take your calls and listen to what you have to say out there and bring everything out to the forefront, because let me tell you something, I'm no freaking federal agent. I don't work for Homeland Security. I spit on Homeland Security. To hell with them. And I spit on the freaking corporation, the United States corporation. I spit on the Federal Reserve, and I've been touting that for year after year on this show. I've even called the Federal Reserve live on this show, and they threatened to deal with me, if you remember that correctly. Because I don't really care, because I'm going to stand up for what's right, no matter what. And I don't care because at the end of the day, I know in my heart I did all I can do to save our republic. Have you? Because I even tell my own family, piss off. Well, I say it a little different way. You don't like it? Go someplace else. You'll get your microchip in your freaking forehead. Don't worry. Laugh now, cry later. Remember that saying? All right, everybody. All right, Chad, you're my co-host. We got a couple callers here. Chad, if you want to do something real quick and talk to the callers, and we'll bring on the callers here. Chad, go ahead real quick, and then we got a couple callers we got to get to that have been waiting a long time.
Your grandma heard that, by the way. So, yeah, so, you know, you come up with the topic of militias, and that's a great topic tonight. And, I'm already getting feed on that. And what we see now, are we see these militia groups that are waiting on the shot heard around the world again. Okay? They're waiting for somebody else to initiate it. They're waiting for somebody else to fire the first shot. And that ain't going to happen. So, militias today, yeah, they get around, they train. Some are great groups, some are highly radical, some base their existence off of a history that's never been verified. Some groups are so secret of militias that, they don't even exist, but they're so secret that they don't even exist. And,
that was a good one.
I think that what we have here is we have this culture that derived from the 90s that the government's going to come in, they're going to take everything over, they're going to enslave you and everything, and maybe happen, maybe not. We don't know. Time will only tell. Right now we're in a sort of a national plus worldwide crisis from coronavirus. I mean, I haven't really seen anything, or I don't know anybody that has had it. I know the last few weeks myself have been dealing with bronchitis. As you guys probably heard some of my pigs snorting on the radio, I apologize. But the militias today need to realize that their role in society needs to be defined by actually getting out in the public view and doing things that help the public. Not just training in the woods and shooting your rifles at trees and metal signs and beer cans. Okay? The militia of today is not like the militia of 1776. We don't have the British shutting down our streets. I mean, do we have a government that's, overreaching and overstepping their bounds and violating your constitutional rights? Some say yes, some say no. If we have a caller, that wants to pop in tonight to agree or disagree with that, we're more than welcome to listen to you. And, with that, we'll get to our first caller, and it looks like, Joe, you got one up at 256?
Yeah, 256 was first. We'll go with 256 first. That was pretty good, Chad, what you said. And everyone gets a chance. Look, we don't screen callers live. You go ahead and call in, press number 1, and we'll get you on here. Just be respectful to all the many callers that we're going to get here. I know we are. So 256, you're first. Go ahead.
Okay, first I want to apologize for yesterday. I got carried away, right? But y'all talking bad about President Trump, and I took it personal. So I apologize for that. Hopefully y'all take my apology.
Yeah, that's fine. We're Christians here. What's your point here? We're talking about the militias here. The militias, the unifying. Why are not the militias unified here in this country today? And if they were, would we have a difference here in the way our republic is shaping out with the terms of our corporation that is laying down right now? Would we be more relevant and pertinent to the information that's being transgressed throughout the internet right now, but what's going on with the deep and the secret governments and the CIA and this virus and how do you feel about unifying the militias across the country, sir?
Well, like in regards to like the whole pandemic and the quarantine, I went into a Subway just today. And I gave Bridget Pruitt my foot long, and she liked it. I mean,
well, obviously you don't have anything to share here. That's fine. You obviously don't have anything to share. That's okay. All right, that's fine. Obviously, that's what you want to do. Go ahead, 336. Go ahead. You're next. Go ahead. Well, this is what you're going to deal with. This is your republic, folks. This is your law society, the madness of a law society. We played that last night. We don't need to do it again. Go ahead, 336.
Sure.
Excuse me 1 second. Oh, sorry, you caught me. You caught me eating something. God, I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, there you go. You're unmuted. There you go. Well, you finish eating, sir. You go right ahead. Next caller. This is your status of your republic here. This is the serious discussion we're going to have right here. People eating something and talking junk. And 336-745-9664. That's your number. Call that son of a bitch and let him know not to be stupid on this radio show. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're a fool. Okay, go ahead, private caller. Go ahead. You want to add something here to the conversation?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello,
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
You're live. Go ahead. Yes, I can hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Okay, great. I was just wanting to give a quick shout out to my Uncle Tony and say Tony Talk rules. Joe Gibson sucks.
All right, there we go. All right, yeah, those are the first callers, and they jumped on the scene first here tonight. That's what you're going to get. And these are the people out there on the internet that troll around, and they think it's a joke what's happening in America today. Isn't that interesting? That's what you get on the internet. And those are the live callers, Chad, that we got here. Okay, and we're gonna get another one here. 506-700-0463. Go ahead, you'll be next. And is there anyone out there that is a part of a militia in their state that would like to talk serious here? Because what we're trying to do here is I want people to understand something. This is live radio, live internet. Okay. And what happens is you're going to get these idiots out there that are going to interject into the conversation and try to detract because they're probably either paid by Blog Talk Radio or they're a part of the New World Order or they're just scared and they don't know how to react and they act like the crybaby sissies they are, the faggots they are. And a lot of them are probably fat faggots that work undercover actually. So, and you know what the fat faggots are, the ones that wear the 3-letter uniforms, 506, go ahead. Press number 1, folks. Want to join in. We'll get to every call here tonight. And we're talking about the militias out there. And, boy, if this is what we're going to get for feedback, maybe we need to do some better promoting. I don't know. But go ahead, 506. Let's hear what you got to say.
Hello.
All right, there you go. You're off the air. All right, there you go. And, that's like I said, Chad, this is what you're going to get. Can we screen some of these callers, Chad? Can you help me out? That's one of the reasons why I wanted you really on this show. More. Yeah, screen the callers, find out what they really want to talk about, and hopefully that we, screen them. Let me know what we get. And let's go with 619. While you screen the rest of the callers, let me go with 619. See what they got to say. Go ahead, 619. This isn't a joke, folks. I don't know why you would think it would be. Go ahead, 619.
Good evening. This is Dr. Peter Paul Ventura, and I don't approve of these messages.
Yep. All right. There you go. There you go. Someone pretending to be Dr. Peter Ventura. And we know we did a show a few nights ago with Dr. Peter Ventura. Chad, you go ahead and screen some calls. What do we got to do here? Do we got to call some of these people and put them on the spot? Is that what we got to do? This is why a lot of people don't get a voice on the internet on a lot of these shows because, you have shows out there that have these roundtable discussions and people say, well, how come I can't talk? How come I'm not able to get on? It's because of crap like this. And this is the disgustingness that we get out there, and people don't understand. They're 2 seconds away from being hauled off and thrown on a ship, and going off the coast of the shore and be thrown off the side of the ship. They don't get it. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand the New World Order. They don't get it. They don't understand any of that. And sometimes it's frustrating. I get that. That's what you're going to get in society today. I mean, for God's sake, you can go to any city out there and you can see the dumbed-down idiots walking with their pants hanging down to their knees and bebopping to the music and singing. Meanwhile, the whole world is going down a toilet bowl. I mean, this is what you get out there, folks. Press number 1 if you want to get on the podcast here. Go ahead. I recognize the caller. 386. Go ahead.
Yeah, Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm shocked that you have so many callers calling in that really think it's a joke. Not me doing that. That's not fair. Hey, anyway, though,
Go ahead, Go ahead.
I heard your show last night. Oh, by the way, we are under this whatever stay-at-home thing that's in effect in other states. Well, Florida goes into effect with that crap, too. What I want to say, I heard some of your show last night about the 5G thing, and I was talking to a couple people today about it, and it does seem like that, they think that that's why people are getting sick over the 5G because it really just got into effect. I know they just put a tower up sometime in the middle of last year near where I live, and they seem to think that that's got something to do with why people are getting sick too, and I really don't know a whole lot about it, but what I didn't know how that really works with the 5G and why we really even need it, and apparently asked
about 5G. Obviously 5G is a very important topic because obviously now we got another caller here bringing it up. Chad, can you explain the 5G and how you worked with 5G, setting up the antennas and everything one time for this caller?
So basically, if you're close to a 5G tower and you activate that 5G tower and its boosting can be powerful enough, sometimes you can feel a sensation from that transmitter. If you're in a position where you're actually in front of it, you can feel that. So whatever you're feeling has to be causing some type of effect to your body, whether it's negative or positive effect, we don't know. I personally don't, like standing in front of things that don't make me comfortable. I mean, it'd be like standing in front of a flamethrower, and saying, hit me. So, I have felt a tingling sensation from it, and it could affect anybody in any different way we don't know. Like I say, if you haven't worked with it, it's kind of hard for you to say how it works or how it affects people. Now, I don't know how or if it's affected me. Just a few times I've dealt with them and set up and powered up transmitters and stuff. But, to each their own experience. But we have to remember, okay, you can hear things from people, okay. Some people might say, hey, Chad, you're full of crap. That's fine. Fine, whatever. Everybody's got their own opinion, their own feelings. But we have to remember, stop taking, an individual's word without actually having real data to back things up.
Yeah, well, I'm within a quarter of a mile from this one, and why do we need 5G? What is the purpose of it? And why do we even need it?
Well, in my understanding, the 5G is just the next best, reception and signal for your cellular telephone usage and your internet usage. It's higher bandwidth.
Oh, okay.
It's more bandwidth.
Okay. You answered my question.
Well, what is bandwidth? Can you explain what is bandwidth? Because a lot of people, obviously this individual that's calling in has no idea what 5G is, why they're setting these antennas up, and you claim that you work setting these antennas up. What is bandwidth and why is it so important? Chad, that question is for you, Chad.
No, sorry.
All right. All right. Yeah. Well, why is the bandwidth so important? All right. I don't know where he went. I guess maybe we might have lost him. I don't know what he's doing. All right, 386. I guess you can't get your question answered. I don't know too much about 5G. So.
Joe, I know I used to live in North Carolina.
Okay, hey, I'm back. I'm trying to get my mic set. Sorry. So, okay, basically, bandwidth is, data transfer. Okay, it's more data, and and Bitbanker even has it on there. He just popped up, but it's boosting more data. The more people are consuming, the higher the bandwidth. The more bandwidth. We're in an age where everybody has a cellular device or a tablet, computer. Everybody's streaming now, so now you're getting into this world where we are consuming, so they have to do more. They have to add more. They have to constantly upgrade.
You're absolutely correct on that, and that's a simple technological answer to it. But the fact of the matter is that the caller said down in Florida people are getting sick, and people are saying they're getting sick because of it. And caller 3 of Florida there, I also brought up the subject here tonight, the militia groups and whatnot. And we know for a fact that ever since the early 1990s, when the feds started infiltrating all militia groups, that most of them are basically federal agents setting you up, for a long, lengthy prison term, So that's basically what they all are. Are they training in the woods with their guns and shooting metal targets like Chad said? Yes, they are. But they're also taking your information down, and because there is no militia anymore in America, folks. That is self-evident. I mean, they have martial law declared basically on the streets of America right now. Businesses are closed, right? I mean, can you go out to eat right now with your family? No, you can't. No, you can't. Because all the business owners are bowing down to and the government and whatever the government tells you to do. Imagine, folks, if back in 1776, if Charles Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie, that was later on in the 1800s actually, decided to go to Nellie's restaurant and the sheriff was standing there saying, nope, everybody has to stay in their house tonight, sir. Imagine that episode. There you go. There's a good dialogue for you. Think on that for a minute. So you're took, you're shook, you're done, America. It's finished. It's over. There's no uniting the people. That is a fact. And look at me with my social media platform, thousands of followers, thousands of friends, not one militia group here on the line tonight. The fact of the matter is because they know I'll discover they're a Fed, they're undercover, and that's the leaders of your militia groups out there today. They're all undercover Feds ready to bust you. So be careful what you say, especially in those Zoom rooms, and be careful what you say on this radio show because they're listening. What do you think about that, Florida? Didn't I tell you the New World Order will be hell on earth? Didn't I tell you that? They will hunt you down. They'll find you. They'll be in your closet. They'll be hiding underneath your bed like the boogeyman. Trust me.
In your toothbrush.
Because the government owns you. Yep. The government owns you. They own you. They own everything about you. That's the way it is. And because there is no militia out there anymore. There's really not. Is there? Can anyone call in and tell me there is? Because I sure would like to know one. Or is there some whack job out there that wants to call in, yeah, we're going to kill everybody. Yeah, we're going to arrest the government November 2nd, 2020. We're going to, body slam them. We're going to get them. No, I don't need those guys calling in. And I'll say, well, let's meet at the state capitol tomorrow. The next thing I know, as soon as I show up, I got the state police surrounding me with the FBI, DEA, CIA, and everyone else. Oh, hold it right there. Federal agents, you're under arrest. Right? There ain't nothing going on.
Absolutely.
Satan's got you, man. Got you by the balls, brother. Everybody.
The thing is, Joe, we're not seeing things that all these people are talking about. We're not seeing.
Well, we see the government in our lives every single day. You're right. We're not seeing people get snatched up. Yeah, and snatched up and whatnot. We did that last night with the state police, right? They said, no, you can travel whatever you want. If the guy's out drunk driving, of course you don't want him out there, so we add another fine onto him. But everyone is so pissed off. I'm going to file my remonstrance. Claim. Yeah.
Well, and then, do that, and while you're doing that...
the legislator's office.
and then, while they are doing that, then they are denouncing their citizenship. They are going in and filing a petition to be sovereign citizens. Well, here's the problem. You go in and you become a sovereign citizen, so basically the Constitution doesn't apply to you, okay? There's
two different constitutions. Well, hang on. We know there's two different constitutions. We know it was hijacked after the Civil War, and we know they took control of our money system through the Federal Reserve Act. It's all documented. We know that. Okay, but you can't go back in time and say, you know what, I'm a part of the 1776 movement, and then today talk about what's happening today, and basically say, and go into the courtrooms and say, I am a sovereign. I'm a part of the new state of the old state of North Carolina, and I don't need a driver's license anymore, and then drive around because, look, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to get shook and took and handcuffed and thrown in a cage. Simple as that. And do you really, you know what? How about this? Get up in the morning, shut up, obey all your governments, and just let the other people out there that really know what's going on take charge and do what they have to do. All right? Because, look, the Bible is true, and whatever the Bible says is going to happen. It's been happening, and it's going to happen again. Okay? And when the Lord comes back, he'll fix it all. But not until you are in big trouble. So, hope and pray those rapture guys are telling the truth because, I really believe in the tribulation and, the last half hour of the tribulation. You're going to endure, buddy. You're going to endure, like Paul says. You're going to endure, okay? Rejoice in your tribulation. It's coming. But it's your fault. It's your fault because guys like me have been out there shouting at the top of their lungs for years, trying to tell you what the hell's going on, and none of you have done anything. You call into this radio show making jokes, doing nonsense, doing stupid crap, and that's what you do. That's fine.
Joe, you talk about that, Joe, and at about midnight, our lovely neo-Nazi friend from Arkansas had taken my picture and made another Facebook profile, and then proceeded to call me multiple times, which I was heavily under the influence of sleep. So I didn't hear it. And, he tried to friend a bunch of people. And, it's people like that just don't have anything better to do with their life that jump on here. And they do this stuff day in and day out.
Yeah, and it was like Leroy the other night. I was arguing with him, I think, while you were arguing with your neo-Nazi friend, on Facebook. And I've got family members listening right now. And, and all I did was I said, look, I'll pray for you, and, you don't believe the way I believe, that's fine. And all he did was try to insult me and punk me down. And I'm not the one to do that to, okay? I don't give a shit, okay? You got a lot more to lose than I do, buddy. So, watch what you're doing. Don't threaten me and my family. And the bottom line is this. Nobody's going to bust a grape in a fruit fight when it comes down to it. And if he did show up at my door, I hit him with so many combinations that he'd think he's going to act me safe, okay? Because it's not going to happen. And if the fat faggot sheriff wants to show up and take me down, then I die that day. That's it. I go out with a blaze of glory. Because that's how I am, okay? That's who I am. That's what I am. I've done the time. I can prove it. I did 9.5 years in a supermax prison. Come on. What, you think I was in there because I was a good boy? The first guy that got smart with me, I freaking cut his face off. That's it. All right? Read the records. Go back. Look up the reports. Go back. Look at the trial I had in 2005. Go ahead. I'm not going to take no shit from nobody. Go ahead. I can back it up. Knock on my door, start some shit, be in danger, and that's what's going to happen. And the Rockingham County Sheriff's Department, they know who I am here. They know. They told me. I had a sheriff here the other night. Somebody smashed out one of my windows. It was an accident, actually, I found out. Somebody hit my car. They came and apologized. They're going to pay for it. But, because they knew I had them caught. The sheriff was telling me, he goes, yeah, Joe, he's still joking around with me. Yeah, we know who you are. Yeah, of course you do. If you kick down my front door, that's it. Some of us are going and some of us are staying. If I got to go, I go. That's it. I don't give a crap, folks. Call me. Threaten me. Do whatever you're going to do. Chad was just saying, they're harassing him now. Well, Chad, welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Welcome.
Yay.
You got an issue. These punks are going to do that. Simple as that. But, do your thing, man. You're not going to do shit. All right. We got a good caller here, I think, that wants to have something to add here, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute him. Here they're unmuted. Yeah, let's unmute them. I didn't want to say their area code in case they got harassed, but go ahead.
Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Go ahead. Welcome to the show.
This is a question for you and Chad Buzz. Actually, it's a statement. Some people don't know exactly what a militia is. And I bet you guys and people out there who really don't know the definition of a militia. I mean, think about it. Are you an anarchist? Are you, if you join a militia,
Chad,
are you a bad
background
guy?
noise. Hang on. Chad's got background. Lisa, Chad's got background noise.
Okay.
Can you ask that question again, please? Because, I had to mute his call. The background noise. Because it was a good question, and that's a good question that we need to answer. Can you ask it again, please?
Well, some viewers out there may not know, such as the definition of a militia. Are you a good guy? Are you a bad guy? What do you believe in? Where do you come from? What groups are militia? What groups are considered militia? Is an anarchist a militia? And do you have to carry a gun to be a part of the militia? What is the meaning of a militia? And the thing is people, I think you've got a lot of young people out there who have been told, oh, militias are bad. That's a bad way to go. You don't do that. That's fighting up against the government. That's fighting up against citizens. But I think the young people of today, like we were talking about on the youth show the other night, I don't think they have a firm handle on what a militia is. Maybe we should go back a little bit and let the viewers know what a militia truly is and who the members are.
You know what? That is absolutely, you're absolutely so correct on that. And what is a militia? Who are the militia out there, and why is the militia? And how important are they to your community? If there is any militia out there, and I think those are great questions. Chad, would you like to answer some of those questions? She posed a few of them there. So I think we're going to start getting to the serious part of the show now, finally. But would you like to start with that? Start answering those?
Yeah. Okay. So, in the Constitution, the Second Amendment has two parts. One covers the right to bear arms. One covers the need for militia. Okay? And you have two separate militias. You have your select, and then you have your unorganized. Your unorganized is every able-bodied man from age 17 to 45 that can pick up and bear arms. Okay? Now, where a lot of people get this wrong this day and age with the Second Amendment, everybody stands up for one part of the Constitution this day and age, and that's the Second Amendment. And they only stand up for the right to keep and bear arms. They don't stand up for the right of the militia. They only stand up for that one part that says, I want to keep my guns. Who are you, though? Who are you to keep your guns? Are you militia? Or are you just average Joe Blow that wants to keep your guns? Every man, woman of a certain age is the militia. We, the people, are the militia. Okay? Not some group out there that's got 9,000 people on Facebook that go out and shoot guns on the weekend and, run around in Tier 1 tactical gear. Okay? Not guys that go to a rally in Pennsylvania or go to a rally at the Virginia Capitol or go to Charlottesville and proclaim that they were there on behalf of law enforcement to keep the peace. Because guess what? When you go there and you do that crap and you're in full battle rattle, guess what? You just incite more issues. You're there for the wrong reason. You're there to incite an issue, to get shit started in hopes that it gives you a public view.
That's absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. But on the Charlottesville issue, that's something maybe we need to touch upon, because you had the Antifa and you had, like Donald Trump said, you had bad people on both sides. Whoa! Now he's a racist, right, for saying that. Well, why is he a racist for saying that? There were both bad people, right?
There were. And I can honestly say that, okay, there are militias out there that are wanting to start shit in hopes that some big fight will break out. But here's the problem. If you're a militia and you make the first move, okay, you're not defending yourself. You are a domestic terrorist. Okay, if you go out and you decide that you see 5 cops standing there and they're doing something unconstitutional, although it may be unconstitutional, okay, you go in there guns blazing or you commit an act of violence against them, you are in the wrong. You just committed an act that, you know, at the point in time you thought was justifiable, but it is not.
Isn't
because
it
what
the
you
right?
did is you
Well,
just,
wait. Well, hang on. Well, hang on a second
Isn't
here.
it
So
the
you're
right
telling me that if
and
you
the
see, yeah. Well, hang on a second. Yeah, hang on. If you see someone having their rights violated, okay, they're violated, or if my rights are violated, and I call upon my local militia to come and say, hey, where are you? They're shutting down my business. They're doing this. It's not. It's against the Constitution. You know, and the militia engages these bat faggots. I like to call them bat faggots. You know, with the 3 letters on their uniform. You know, these people out there where I'm just doing my job. You know, which is totally unconstitutional. Who's to make that decision at that time? Obviously, we have to decide for common sense now. Obviously, we know our constitutional rights. We should know them. And if I do, and I call upon the militia for help, and they engage and start that, you know, popcorn fight, are they really wrong? I don't think so.
You're correct. Yes, in a sense, when it comes to, you know, the justifiable use of force in a certain situation, or whatever means that you use to, you know, dismantle the situation. So, okay, somebody's boarding up my business. You got 2 or 3 cops out there that are boarding up the business, right? And the militia comes along. Okay, the militia, there's not really a whole lot they can do at that point because did they harm anybody? This is the thing. This is the point that people need to realize. Did they actually, besides shutting down their business, yes, they infringed on their rights. Okay, they constitutionally violated that individual's right to, you know, conduct their business, no matter the circumstance. Okay, but did they harm the person? Did they cause physical injury?
Sure.
Did they kill this person?
No. Constitution. Hang on, Chad. I got to disagree with you. That doesn't have to be physical. Once they violated your rights, what those law enforcement officers swore an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, against all.
Okay, yeah.
And that is to uphold the Constitution. All the amendments, like you just brought up.
I'm getting to that, Joe. Okay, now, but
hang on, Lisa wants to interject here. Hang on,
yeah.
Lisa
wants
to ask a question. Go ahead.
But is it not, okay, as an American citizen, is it not an obligation as an American citizen to be a part of a militia? Is it not it's your constitutional right, but it is not your duty as an American citizen to be considered as part of the militia? You support the Constitution, you support the rights to freedom, to liberty, to everything that's withholding into the Constitution. But is it not the right and the obligation of every citizen to be a militia member?
It is. Absolutely. And what I'm trying to get to the point, I'm not saying you're wrong, Joe, but what I'm trying to make the point is, I'm probably going too long about it, okay? What I'm trying to say is that when you're talking to militia, they're going to make you out, okay? When you go and you try to step in, it doesn't matter if, you know, it's bodily injury or not, okay? They're going to make you out to be the bad people. So most of these militias are all talk now. Okay, they're not.
Well, no, I agree. I agree, Chad. I agree with you. They're all talk right now, but the founders intended that the people possesses a right to be armed for the duty in the general militia. Okay,
absolutely.
As well as a right to keep and bear arms for self-protection. In other words, for their generation and all succeeding generations of free Americans, they intended that every man should be armed. So, but we are disarmed today in the general public.
I think it's to defend.
Absolutely.
However, it's like everything around right now. Every everything is being taken away. Everything is said, you cannot have that. But when you push back, honestly, are they pushing that hard at us? Is it a defense that we need to put up? And when does that happen? I can understand the shop owner who's going to get his windows bashed in and food taken away from him or his goods being stolen, that he calls the militia and says, hey, help out here. I've got a problem. But what's difficult is when they put a reason out there, what they've done is they put a reason out there and they've said, we're going to restrict this and we're just going to hold you off over here. And they're not forcing. They're not attacking. So what do you have to defend?
Well, Lisa, that's absolutely correct. But let's go back to what our founders actually said, because we have to go by the foundations that we stand upon. What did they say? They said, no free man shall ever be debarred the use of what? The firearms, right? The use of arms. It was Thomas Jefferson, Virginia Constitution, that was 1776. And what did Thomas Jefferson say? I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Okay, he stated that to James Madison, January 30th, 1787. And also, what country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. That was Thomas Jefferson to James Madison, December 20th, 1787. The laws that forbid the carrying of arms are laws of such a nature. They disarm only those who are neither inclined nor determined to commit crimes. Such laws make things worse for the assaulted and better for the assailants. They serve rather to encourage than to prevent homicide, for an unarmed man may be attacked with greater confidence than an armed man. Thomas Jefferson stated that, quoting, go back to 1774 through 1776, the Commonplace book, quoting 18th century criminologists. A strong body makes the mind strong. As to the species of exercise, I advise the gun. While this gives moderate exercise to the body, it gives boldness, enterprise, and independence to the mind. Games played with the ball and others of that nature are too violent for the body and stamp no character on the mind. Let your gun, therefore, be your constant companion of your walks. Again, Thomas Jefferson. Letter to Peter Carr, August 19th, 1785. The Constitution, most of our states and of the United States, assert that all power is inherent in the people, that they may exercise it by themselves. That is their right and duty to be at all times, what? Armed. Again, Jefferson to Cartwright, 1824. On every occasion of the Constitution, interpretation. This is interpretation. Let us carry ourselves back to the time when the Constitution was adopted. Now we got to interpret this now. Let's go back to that time. Recollect the spirit manifest in the debates, okay? And instead of trying to force, okay, what meaning may be squeezed out of this text that I'm going to read you or invent it against, instead let us conform to the probable one in which it was passed. Okay, I enclose you a list of the killed, wounded, and captive of the enemy from the commencement of hostilities at Lexington. Okay? So I would say that those quotes, those writings, those teachings that have been archived would be self-explanatory to what the militia should be standing for today. That the people should always be armed.
But yet must a government fear its people, otherwise it seeks to enslave them. By removing their rights.
And they made that. George Mason made that address to Virginia, the ratifying convention, June 4, 1788. I ask, who are the militia? They consist now of the whole people, except a few public officers. What did he mean by that?
Right.
A few public
we
officers.
The people.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's we the people. It's all of us. I believe that it should be all of us. But the thing is it's difficult
a few public
for the
officers, though. Yeah, but a few public officers.
The militias are having a difficult time stepping their foot out there, are they not? Come on. And nobody's getting slapped in the face, just not yet. There's no just blatant slap you upside of the head that the militia can step out and say, wait a minute, we are for the people, and you will not do that. It's difficult, and each individual is having rights taken away, left and right, and in front of them and behind them. But where do they go? Who do they talk to? Who do they complain to? Who is the militia? Where can we find them? And what do we do to reach out to them?
They're your neighbors.
Well, we
They're
give that reference. We go to the officers of the militia, and it states it very clearly. Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, right? And what are they trying to do to us? To disarm us. So, we're regulated. Your gun has to be concealed. You need a permit to have that concealed, right? As they are in almost every country in Europe. They give an example of Europe. The supreme power of America cannot enforce unjust laws by the sword because the whole body of the people are armed, right? And we give that little scenario we brought up earlier. What happens when 5 police officers are beating down that unarmed man? What did I just say? Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every country in Europe. The whole body of the people armed and constitute a force superior to any band of regular troops. Those troops that are disarming that man and violating his constitutional rights, you, the militia, should be engaging those troops and stopping them. That's what I get out of that. Before any standing army can rule, right? The people must be disarmed. And they are disarming us every single day, whether it be through the First Amendment.
With red flag laws, are they
over.
not disarming us?
Yeah.
With the red flag laws, are they not infringing upon?
Yes, they are. They're infringing upon all of our rights at once. You got to remember, you're dealing with the evil insurrection here of people that have evil tyranny. They hate sovereignty. They hate our sovereign God. They hate individualism. They hate the uniqueness of you, the human being that
they
God
hate the
created.
liberty and pursuit of happiness. Is what it sounds like. It seems like it really does. Come on, isn't there anybody else out there who feels the same way? Are these people that know about the militia, want to talk about the militia and what the rights are for the people of the United States? Are they there?
I have something to say about that.
Okay.
So, if anybody, is listening and you're not familiar with the Federalist Papers, okay, if you go into Federalist 29, and you look at what Federalist 29 actually says, and I have the long version here, which I'm not going to get into, but Federalist 29 lays out the groundwork for the militia, and Alexander Hamilton himself, laid out this groundwork based on the need of the defense of the people and the Constitution's role. So we have forgotten how to be the militia. Okay,
And Chad, just so you know, we do have other callers on the line. We got another area code from the same place, and we got 603 that are waiting. Okay, I just want to let you know that.
Okay, so, but now I agree. Okay, the militia is vital, necessary to our nation. We need our militia to step up and do the right thing. I agree that any act against an individual should be responded to by the militia. If it is the corporate government doing it, but where are those people that are going to band together? Because the average person is not. The militias we have today, all they're concerned about is going to Second Amendment rallies and protecting their guns. They forgot about the people.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next call.
All right. Yeah. Let's take the callers here. Let's go to 603 first, and the other 970. Go ahead. Actually, we got a few of them now. Go ahead, 603. Go ahead.
Hello. Sir.
Yes, go ahead. You're live. Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to clarify one thing about 5G, just real quick. What it is actually it's frequency. So the typical 4G is 30 gigahertz, and 5G, they've increased it to 300 gigahertz. So what that is, it's just resonance. It's noise that we can't hear, but could adversely affect us on a cellular level. It's just like being in front of a speaker and then them turning it up so damn loud that it starts just killing you, essentially. So just that's a very simplified way of explaining it, but that's exactly what that is. Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah, it makes sense. I appreciate the call on the 5G. I want to take some more callers because we're talking about the militias right now. Do you have any opinion, real quick? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm part of a Southern California militia. Actually, I reside in Escondido. I don't know if you know where that's at, but Southern California. It's in San Diego County. We're the Southern Militia. We're at least it's not too many of us. It's about 50, 60 of us, and as of right now, we are all on lockdown. They're not calling it a martial law, but that's exactly what it is. It's martial law. They are now going as of midnight tonight here in San Diego. They will. You can be arrested if you're more than one person. Meaning, all you're allowed to do is go to the grocery store, purchase groceries, or to the pharmacy, and that's it. That's the only places you're allowed to go. You can't go to work if you could be fined up to $1,000 or incarcerated. I don't know if that's happening all over the country. I'm not sure. I just know that we got.
Well, you're in San Diego. You're in San Diego.
Correct.
Well, sir, just to clarify for you, we did call a corporal from the state police last night and had him live on this show, and he stated the same thing basically. But he said that they would not interject or harass anybody that was traveling. You had the right to travel, but if you were out there drunk driving or were doing something wrong, obviously, like, we want the police to do. If you see a drunk driver going the wrong side down the road, you pull him over, he's drunk, they would tack on that citation of him not being home when he was supposed to be during, that stay-at-home order that you're talking about.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, this is totally new. This just came out from the mayor of San Diego, and that's not the case here as of a few, about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. You will not be allowed out of your house unless it's for very specific reasons, not for work, unless you're a nurse or a doctor or work at a grocery store. Well, wait a second.
You said not. Well, hang on. You said not for specific reasons, and you said that's in San Diego, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to verify that live on this show after these next callers, because that would be very interesting.
That'd be great.
So hopefully you'll stay on. Yeah, I will contact San Diego. But let me take some. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave you. I'll go ahead and mute you real quick, and just take another caller, and I'll unmute you after I take the caller. But let's just be polite to the other callers. Go ahead, 970. Go ahead. 970. Go ahead. You heard the unmute. Yep. Go ahead. That's you.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
I didn't know if I was on there or not. Talking about all these militias, you got to look at how many thousands of militias are around here, but there's no unity. The problem is you've got all these different militias trying to be, got a lot of chiefs out there. Nobody wants to be the Indian. So you got all these little groups running around. They don't want to work with the other group hand in hand to get to the end goal. They all got to, some of them are similar paths, some are different paths, but damn, the end goal is the same thing. So we got to start a unity between all these different militias. Until that happens, ain't going to be no republic.
We recognize that problem, caller. We recognize that problem, but how do we start that unity? How do we begin to overcome our personal differences or internet differences, Facebook differences? How do we overcome that and get rid of the people out there that are stomping their feet, being in charge? And we need to listen to the little guy maybe and start unifying, because there's a lot of little guys out there that say, hey, I want to be that Indian, but the guys in charge won't let me.
Well, you pointed out earlier, Joe, everything we're doing, whether you're on your computer, your cell phone, you're on Zoom, Facebook, whatever you're on, doesn't matter. You can make a phone call. You can text somebody. It's all being watched and monitored, every bit of it. There's a lot of folks that have been in the game for a long time, and in each areas, you know who these main people are. We need to start grouping these main people together, and a lot of them know the other guys, and gals. So we need to start grouping them together, bring them together, so we can start a there, and then each of them can reach out to the smaller groups or maybe groups in their area, and let's start bringing it all together. We have to start doing this.
I agree wholeheartedly. I really do. I mean,
absolutely.
You won't hear any argument from me on that one. I really do agree 100% with what you had to say on that. And maybe,
some of us have been in
go ahead.
some private. I was going to say, well, some of us have been in some private chats, but we've got representatives of multiple militias on one call, and we're going back and forth at different things. Now we argue about a lot of shit. All know that, but the bottom line is we all agree in the end. We just got to find some common ground on these paths and pull them together, and then let's just forward motion here. Constant bickering amongst ourselves and bickering about stupid shit. And you got Tennessee arguing about Tennessee while Alabama wants to deal with things in Alabama. Well, all the states themselves, but eventually we're all either going to have to deal with one damn issue, or we're going to be left with nothing. And just like you said, I mean, we're coming at the end of the day swiftly. It ain't like it was in the 90s, like Chad talking about, in the 90s, everything going on. We don't have a damn, 15 or 20-year window. And we're going to be real lucky if we've got a 10-year window.
You are very correct, sir. You are so correct, and that's the thing that what I said. We're standing at the top of the mountain screaming, and nobody's listening, and that's the problem. And that's why we do this. We do shows like this.
Yeah, and the female caller, she's correct as can be. It's everybody. If you're a U.S. citizen, you believe in the Constitution, Bill of Rights, you believe in your neighbor right to live his life as he damn well fits, not the way the governor sees he should live it, then you need to be a member of your local militia. I don't know where all the callers are. None of us do. But and all your listeners out there, do some damn research. Wherever you're at in North America, there's a militia there. Do some research. Find the militia. Become a part of it. And like Chad's saying, don't get on Facebook and say, "Oh, I click like." Shit, I'm part of the goddamn militia. No, you're not. You can like all the damn militia pages. You're still not part of shit.
That's right.
So we get people to actually, get out. You got to get out and you got to join these. You got to become a part of something. If you're not going to be a part of something, much rather die stand on your feet than on your damn knees. You got to choose which way you want to go out.
That's right. And I think a lot of people would rather live on their knees than die on their feet. I honestly believe that now, but I'm interested in hearing what other people have to say. I put it out there on the internet. Look, it's a free radio show. You get through. Everybody gets through. I got another caller I'm going to connect right now. Let's talk about this. Go ahead, 970 again. Go ahead. You're unmuted.
Hey, Joe, thanks for having the show tonight. Interesting conversation. A lot of things come to mind. I'll just hit a couple bullet points. One of the questions was posed earlier in talking about the early militias, and it was the church leaders. It was the Black Robe Regiment, the educated men that usually held the commanding rank in the local militias. Now, for the most part, in the beginning, we need to realize that these individual militias were doctrine specific. So Methodists, had a town, and Episcopalians had another town, and so on and so forth. But through all of this, they realized the same thing that we're talking about today, is that they needed a common ground. And that's how the Republic was born. And the Republic is set up, it's organized, it's under law. That is the rally. That is the place that it gets organized. And that goes down to the grassroots level. That's
so what you're saying. The solution caller is that we have to have a foundation to build upon. There has to be a rallying cry, and those people, those officers of the militia, need to be educated and have some sort of doctrinal, spiritual belief and education, and be very wise people. And we know that because that's what our founders were. They were the wise people of that time. They were the leaders. They were the ones that you looked up to. They said, "Oh, John Adams, Jefferson, George Washington. Wow, they were looked up to, right?"
So yeah, I know that we're the brightest generation on earth, but why do we have to reinvent this wheel? The wheel's already there, folks. All we got to do is put it to use. That's my point. And it solves a lot of these
A month ago, that would have worked. They had church services. They had town hall meetings. They had people who gathered. And just after Virginia happened, what a coincidence. Nobody can gather anymore because we've got this great COVID-19 that they're stating.
Well, now that's a whole other subject. Well,
it just seems like that there isn't any way of people. You can talk to your neighbor. You have to stay 6 feet apart, but you can talk to your neighbor about it. You can talk to somebody at the grocery store. However, that you have to be 6 feet apart. So, they've kind of taken what we can do away. So the only thing that we have to get on a computer, look up where our militias might be, where we can find out what our militias are, who they are, and what they are at this day and age, right now.
Oh yeah, and I am not in disagreement. I'm not in disagreement with any words that I've heard spoken since I got on the radio program tonight. I'm just trying to offer some things to think about and some possible solutions to our problems. And wisdom comes from many minds. And I'm just presenting a different point of view. Yep. And
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
This beautiful Constitution and its Bill of Rights. That's our protection. As long as we stay under that, we have a lot of protection. If we get out from underneath it, we don't. So now the question is, what is the war really about, and where do I fit into the picture? Is that correct? That's what everybody's
that's
looking
correct.
for.
And Chad, Chad, what do you think? And Chad, what do you think about that? Was the Virginia rally just basically? Were they scared? Maybe they made their move and started moving forward with, this scary thing of this virus because they saw how many patriots came out with their guns drawn and said, "Hey, you're." Even though I have questions about that rally because you know what, they stayed outside the perimeter. They didn't go into the Capitol.
We're going to go on now. We're going to go into that. Okay? We are definitely going to go into that because Virginia was a complete and utter failure. Utter failure. And anybody that thinks that they assembled and done something great, they did not a damn thing. Not a single thing. Okay? What they did is thousands of people went and they boosted Richmond's economy, because guess what? Where were the Virginians at work, at home. Okay, you had all these thousands of people that come from other states, and not a single one of them did anything they talked so much shit about on Facebook and stormed the Capitol. Where the hell were you? Where were your guns blazing? Where were all you wild nomads?
Virginia proved they could make you check your weapons. We had 23,000 people gathered in Virginia that were fully armed, and the only thing Virginia rally did was it proved beyond a shadow of a doubt a full armed
they could
group
make you comply,
to be told to lay their weapons
even
down to walk up to the State House. Yep, they were armed.
Hang on, don't talk over each other.
Going.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Actually, I'll be honest with you folks. I talked about that rally. I covered it live on this show. You're absolutely right. Check your weapons at the door. That's what it was all about. Yep. Check your weapons at the door. They did nothing. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of gas money.
23,000 people stood there while they took their rights away and did nothing about it. Fully armed, did nothing about it.
You're
going
to
show the government the path's wide open, boys. Do what you want. There ain't going to be the old saying of a gun behind every tree. It's not there.
That's right. And we got other callers here, 978. We had 203 there. He keeps jumping on and off. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, hang on. Let me get 978. 978, go ahead. I don't know where 203 keeps jumping on and off. I don't know why. But go ahead, 978. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe. I was getting a sandwich the other day, and I was talking to the girl behind the counter, and next thing you know, I was nailing her in the bathroom. But anyway, she was telling me.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is that what you wanted to really talk about? How stupid can you be to call into a radio show with a life plan? You got to be a complete idiot, a jackass. That's what you got to be.
He's cut.
For real. I mean, come on.
We have a private caller on here.
Yeah, but hang on. I want to get to 203 first. I recognize the number. 203, you want to speak? Press 1 now. 203, I think that was you. Do you want to? I want to connect you live. I saw you pressing 1. Go ahead, 203. I recognize the number. This isn't one of those jerks out there. Go ahead, 203. 203, come on.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
All right. Obviously, that's not the 203 I was looking for. Sorry. Okay, well, that's what you get with live radio. That happens. You know, that happens. That's why he was jumping across the board. He was jumping up and down from, like, number 16 up to my other board there, number 43. So that's fine. That's fine.
Now, can I honestly say something here? May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
We've got a lot of listeners out there, and if you're part of the militia and you're not jumping into some of this conversation, shame on y'all. You need to get in here and have some conversation about what it is, what our rights are, how we get in touch with y'all, how we get in touch with y'all to find out how we can be a part of, instead of standing on the sidelines and watching everybody take everything away from us. Y'all need to jump on here and talk about it. And if you don't, shame on you.
I agree wholeheartedly. I do agree. 224, do you want to talk about it? Go ahead. I'm going to give you a chance. Go ahead. Yeah, 224. All right, 224, you don't want to talk about it. All right, my caller board is going crazy. Obviously, we're being attacked here tonight. Chad, you see it, right? Numbers popping up and down, going on and off.
Absolutely.
You see it, right? Yeah,
we have
going
another
crazy.
caller here. We have another caller here. Well, we did have another caller here that jumped off.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of callers that are jumping on and off. And, you know, what I want to do here real quick here is while we get control of the call board here is I want the callers that are on right now to remain on. We got 42 minutes left to the show, and we're trying to talk about the militias out there. And obviously this is what they're going to do, why they're going to attack us and try to shut us down and make us look like fools. That's fine. They could try, but we're not going to do that. And it's very important that a lot of people understand how real serious the problem is about us restoring some sort of lawful government. And if this corporation is so bad and so evil and we're all complaining about it, why are we not standing up in the militia community? Why are we not becoming united? I've been trying to unite the militia community now for a while. And everyone, shame on you for not taking my heed and my word, because we all have to stand on one platform. And we all have to agree to stand on one platform. And we have to all say, hey, maybe I don't agree with this, but you know what? Maybe I got to shut up for a little bit and say, hey, for the better meaning of the country, for the better meaning of the whole, maybe I should just shut up and sit down and do what the Sons of Liberty have done in the past and a lot of the other original militia groups from the past. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. And then I'm going to get these callers organized. Stay on the phone. Stay on the line. Don't make any background noise. We'll be right back in 2 minutes, okay?
Plant the seed in our home, and boys, let it grow where all can see. Feed it with our devotion, boys, call it the Liberty Tree. It's the tall old tree and the strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Save it from the storm, boys, water down its roots with tea, and the sun will always shine on the old Liberty Tree. It's the tall old tree and the strong old tree, and we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. March along with the fight, we're boys, we were born forever free. Let's obey the fight, we're boys, beneath the Liberty Tree. It's the tall old tree and the strong old tree, and we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Pay the price they're asking, boys, always pay the tirelessly. Never give up the struggle, boys, fight for the Liberty Tree. It's the tall old tree and the strong old tree, and we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. Stand for the rights of man, boys, stand against all tyranny. Hang the land for freedom, boys, high on the Liberty Tree.
All right, everybody. Joseph Gibson here, blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. The phone number 657-383-0616. We're getting a lot of spam callers, a lot of callers here that we don't recognize that are calling in, hanging up, and they're disrupting the call board here tonight. I asked the regular callers that were on hold, that were live already, to just be patient and stay with me. Okay? I do see you guys there still on the line. I don't think we should take any new calls right now while the caller board is doing this, because what they're trying to do is disrupt the show, and they're taking away from the show. Unless we get a private message saying, hey, this is me, Joe, take my call, I think maybe we should not take any other callers because they're disrupting the show. I think we've got a good enough platform here right now for the next 36 minutes. They'll cut us off 2 minutes early to talk about the militias, talk about what's really happening out there and why the militias are not really fully united and why they're being divided. And I talked about this earlier on in the show. We have a lot of militia groups out there that are founded by the federal government. We have FBI wings in each city. Greensboro, for instance, Greensboro, North Carolina, we have an entire FBI building there, and an entire wing is devoted to the militia. Trust me, okay? They're devoted to probably even my podcast show. Maybe, who knows? God bless them. More power to them. That's fine. Go right ahead. You know what will happen. Just stand down and know your Constitution. We do nothing wrong here on this show to promote violence or disrupt the government or the corporation. We're here lawfully to talk about the Constitution and to talk about we the people and our rights and our suffrage that we suffer here today. That's what I talk about. And we talk about God. And if that offends you and if that is a violation of my rights or your rights and you feel the necessary need to kidnap me, come kick down my door or do anything to me, or any of you feel like you need to hurt me because of that, then I say have at it, because I am very well prepared. Okay, and that is a warning to anyone out there that suggests that I do not stand for God, country, and guns. I believe in my republic. I believe lawfully that we do need a lawful government to stand upon and stand for the republic. That's what I stand for. That's what I fight for many years now. And those of you who know me personally know that I do not tolerate anything that is unlawful. I do not believe in hurting anyone. I do not believe attacking anyone, committing violence. I believe in using our First Amendment, most importantly, here on this radio show. So those of you who are advocating anything whatsoever other than that, you are not welcome on this show. If you do get through, shame on you, and you will be cut off. But this is not what this show is about. We're called Understanding the Times in Which You Live Today, and tonight this topic is to understand the militias, why we cannot have unity within the militia community. All right.
Joe, may I ask
go ahead.
to your callers for a few minutes?
Yes, go ahead, sir, please. Thank you.
I serve at rather rarefied levels in national security. So what I'm going to share with you folks is some clarity, some background, and tell you where we're at today and where we're going. The plan that Trump has talked about is in progress. We're in stage 4. It was pretty well spelled out in his executive order in December 20, 2017, called Human Trafficking, Pedophilia, and Corruption. And at that time, he was declared a national emergency. And so those national emergency powers began at that point. Plan was to take down the deep state and expose the swamp and bring them to justice. And so the white hats and the patriots were hard to identify because there are so many infiltrators within their ranks. And so it's been really difficult for Trump to accomplish what he had set out to do. There have been a lot of roadblocks and leaked intel, but one thing he's good at, and that's good at taking the opponent's momentum and using it against them and letting them eat themselves, and that's exactly what we've been watching playing out. So he hired several hundred investigators, and they started filing indictments. And I actually have a screenshot of the end of this month on my phone, and those indictments are public record. They're not public record because they're sealed until they're unsealed. Once they're unsealed, then things can start happening. So you have to look at this big picture and realize that a lot of this corruption comes through drug cartels and the Chinese triad and the Air American, our three letters, and all the different players in the world and where they're getting their goods. And right now we know Venezuela is a hot spot. And the drug cartels have promised that they'll set our country ablaze if we interrupt their drug supply. But yet, in order to cut the head off the giant, you got to go and cut the whole cancer out, and they're a big part of the picture. So you have to look at this from a military standpoint and realize that once you get your domino set up, it's just a domino effect, and that's where we're going. And we're the last domino, and we all know it, and we all feel it. The General Vallée was on a international internet radio podcast in September. I was privileged to be on live with him, and I actually spoke to him live. It's recorded. And he told us that this was going to happen. That was the end of September of last year. He came back on in October and said that one of the big players, I can't remember his name now, so I won't say it, had been caught trying to escape, and he started singing like a jailbird, and then Epstein went down, and all this house of cards started falling in on top of him. And so the plan had been put off for a little bit. It was then revealed, and this man is General Vallée. He retired in 1994. I do not know his total background, but it was something like Special Forces commander up through the 80s and 90s. So this man's working with Trump because he's a proven the fruit of his tree proves who he is, and so he's a confidant to Trump, and Trump placed him in charge of Red October. That's when 5 days later, on October 3rd, the new orders were given to the reservists and called up the reserves. And I personally witnessed the orders on the for that whole operation under the Marine website, and it reads a executive order calling the reserves to active duty to assist the homeland in defense, to assist local law enforcement in defense of our homeland. That's a record. It's on the Marine website. So that's when the call-up started happening. Vallée told us that before this thing ended, we were going to see some blood in the streets. And I said, that's a lot, to ask the American people. And his response was, Jim, either we are who we say we are, or we give up the fight. So there's your battleground. So the house of cards has been falling, things have been happening, and now we're placed at a strategic point in time where the final and the last battle for our country's freedom plays, and that's where we're at today. The 82nd was called up yesterday.
Jim, I'm sorry to interrupt you during your what you're saying there, but a lot of people say they don't. They're working and they've been analyzing. For instance, Air 21. You mentioned Air America. It was actually Air 21. That was something I exposed here in Greensboro, North Carolina, through News Weekly. They were shipping guns and in exchange for drugs to Venezuela. Actually, they were going down. They were going from PTI Airport down to Miami International Airport to Venezuela. And then they were coming back the same route, and they got caught, okay? And it was only one news article. It made a front page on that newspaper, but not many people paid attention to it. And some of those CIA ops were actually living in Greensboro, and I was contacted, actually, and told to shut up. But, the thing of it is, that's all here, there, now. But the thing of it is we got here what's going on with Venezuela and what you're talking about with General Vallée on the news program there. And he did talk about all this a couple of months ago. And all you got to do is go back and listen to the two-part show and you'll get everything that's happening right now and what's going to happen. I think that's what you're trying to say, without revealing too much information right now.
No, I'm not going to reveal anything that's not public information. You could go. There's Twitters out there. Twitter's public, and there's Twitters out there. There was a news conference that yesterday that was billed as being a COVID, the virus news conference, but you notice the people he had around him were all military, and they spoke exactly to this very thing during the body of that news conference that lasted about an hour. What they're doing is we're now in the process of staging for the battle between the drug cartels backed by the Chinese and the Russians, because they'd like to have control of the Venezuelan oil fields and the influence in South America. And we're cutting off their drug supplies. We're shutting them down. We're going after that part of the plan. This is stage 4. They're estimating that it's about a 10-day to 2-week process to clean up our streets. The MS-13, the drug lords, the crack houses, all these people are going to get swept up. And that's why the reserves have been called up to assist local law enforcement. My neighbor, 66 years old, he's a member of the Coast Guard. He is a vice commander of his unit, and he's been called to active duty with prostate cancer as of 2 weeks ago. I do know exactly what I'm sharing, folks. So
yeah, but Jim, I'm getting told that we're getting all the right players that you're mentioning, but wrong dates. Can you expound upon that maybe? Or the reason why maybe wrong dates were given, or is that a reason for that, if you don't mind me asking?
This is a fluid operation. And there is pushback. Most certainly COVID-19, this virus was a pushback. The military has gone public. They're very concerned that this was the first stage of a prolonged attack. They've gone live on Twitter warning the deep state not to take down our telecommunications. NORAD went on lockdown several days ago last week. They're getting ready for Trump's famous for. And they're getting staged, and that's what all the activity's about. And they're being public with it. You just got to know the conversation.
Okay. So with that being said, okay, and sorry to cut you off, we do have other callers, but with that being said, all right, we've all dealt with things like Air America and things like that. Air America, formed during the height of the Vietnam War. It's the CIA's private air transport, okay? So we've always known that they were into everything, guns, drugs, human trafficking. It's nothing that, no big news, okay? And the thing is, we are hearing the same information, but we don't really have any solid proof, okay? We have, and no disrespect to you, sir, but we have people like you that come online and give the same information every night. They hear this from somebody, or they have this information, or they're, members of the, they're high-ranking positions in the government, okay? Stuff like that. And the problem is we're trying to get to the bottom of things, and we're trying to figure this out, but we're not learning anything new. The things that you're saying are the things that other people have already said time and time before. So,
Dr. Joe,
with that
Dr.
being...
Joe, did you get Dr. Joe, did you get those images and Twitter shots and stuff that I had sent you?
I have not sent them out to people yet. No, I have not, but I did get them, yes.
Okay, so there is verifiable public evidence of what I stated, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I did see it firsthand. Yes, I did.
To the best of your knowledge. Okay, sir, I'm sorry to cut you off.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
I just wanted to make that statement. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the thing of it is that what you're trying to say also is that if all information is to be revealed to the general populace, and we saw it here tonight on this radio show, you get idiots out there that use it and they run with it and they don't know how to handle it. And then what you get is you get one big lot, you get a bunch of nonsense and people that don't know how to handle themselves. They can't be patient. They can't shut up for more than 10 minutes. And then what do? You jeopardize what? You jeopardize an entire thing that's been going on for years now to take down an evil cabal that has been controlling your life every single day since the day you were born, and enslaving many others. But how do you stop that if you're going to tell everybody, hey, this is what's going to happen, guys, and then you get and we saw the example tonight on my show, idiots calling in,
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
Who are we to trust?
Let's go. I want to share personal experience and maybe some conversation back towards the militia. So what I did was I contacted a couple of my neighbors. We live in a remote area in the mountains, and these are people like mine who have a little background together. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to set up internet, a secure link. I'd like to add your name. Let's limit it to half a dozen or 8 people in our local area that are of like mind, and we'll all get on that same link. And it's called Wave, I believe that is. And anyway, we'll be able to punch one number, any of us, and it'll go to all our phones. And being in a remote area, we may be away from our homes, our wife may be home, and that way we can all have instant communication together if there's need arises. And everybody said, I think that's a pretty neat idea. So that's how I'm addressing this, and you can expound on that. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. God bless America.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you're absolutely correct, and I brought that up, Jim, actually, is that we saw this on this show. We don't know who to trust. You've got the provocateurs out there that are working undercover. They're federal agents, obviously, or they have a game or a stake in the play. And the thing with this is you don't know who to trust.
You're right, Joe, but let's just figure it out. It's plain as a nose on your face. You and I have been in this since the 90s. So what's happened? They've sent infiltrators in to cause division and disruption and to be the loudest voice in the room. Is that not typical?
Well, that actually does. Actually, you're absolutely correct. They cause division. You're absolutely correct.
Thank you, caller, for calling in. We need to get to other callers here.
But I'm
we
just
have
saying,
another caller. Hang on, Chad. But he's making a key point that we're talking about with the militias. The militias they're so divided now. That everyone's we're talking over each other and yelling at each other and we're arguing with each other and none of us can trust each other. Can we really trust each other? And that's the key point we're trying to make. Are we going to unite everybody and trust wholeheartedly? And you know what I always say, Chad, is this. If we're going to trust everybody, you know what? You know where I live. You know what I do every day. You know where I work. You know what? We all need to be together and be in constant contact with each other because you know what? I don't know what you do at 9 o'clock in the morning. For God's sake, you could be in the FBI building at Wing 2, talking about Joe Gibson. And I could be over there in Greensboro, North Carolina, saying, hey, I got this guy Chad right here. And they're dividing us, and then I could say, hey, I got this guy Jim on my blog talk show. And you know what? I got this guy Phil on my line right now waiting to talk, and I got Lisa there. She's on the line. And you know what? We could all be working against each other. I think that's what we're trying to put out here tonight. How can we really trust each other? Can we today? Can we? Or is it just lost? The Sons of Liberty, it's just a memory, right? Does anyone got something to say about that? Any new caller out there that's on the line? Anyone else got something they want to add to that? How can we trust?
760.
Go ahead. Go ahead, 760.
Hi, I was. You took my call a little bit ago, but then I was placed on mute. I was the one who actually was telling you about the 5G. I wanted to touch. As I said before, I am part of a militia down here in Southern California. We're called the Southern Militia. It's about 50, 60 of us. About 58 of us right now. Anyways, it fluctuates. And we do, one of the issues that we've had is not only the infiltration of FBI agents or DEA agents, but well, not so much DEA. I spoke wrong on that. FBI and CIA agents, but also we get a lot of people, that are pretending to be like in the military, in the Army, or in the Marines, or the biggest one is the Navy SEALs. They are constantly saying, "Oh, I was a Navy SEAL, I was this and that," and those are the most dangerous.
I think I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. I know who you are. I know who you are and where you're getting at. Guess what? Don't go there. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know who I am. You don't. Stop. Okay? I know what you were doing. You waited all that time just to try to attack Joe Gibson. Don't do that. I already told you so many times who I am, where I am. All right. 302, go ahead. Go ahead, 302. You got something to say, or you got to check in with your lieutenant first? Okay. All right. I guess you got nothing to say. Check in with your supervisor next time. Make sure you get live, okay? Yeah, I'll expose them all, folks. I don't care. They'll call in here. I know what they're doing. They're disrupting the show, and they're taking away from the callers that really have information to share. And that's why you're not going to be told what's going to happen tomorrow, most of you, because who can trust you? Who the hell can trust you? Listen to what you got on this podcast tonight. For real. Who did you get?
Joe, you always know when you're having a good show because your damn call board right there gets completely lit up and full of all these people calling in trying to block up the line. So
you got that right.
The other people want to call and add something to the show intelligently can't do it because they've got you locked out. Every time it's a good show, they light your board up and they plug it and nobody else can get in. It's same shit, different day.
You got that right, brother. You got that right. You do. You absolutely got that right. I mean, and we'll take another one. 210. Go ahead. 210. You got in somehow. I don't know how, but we're talking about the militias tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that poor Bridget Pruitt, the way you're abusing her on a daily basis. That stupid bitch. That fucking cunt, y'all.
There you go.
That's what you get. That's what you get. Same shit, man.
Shit.
And he was waiting on hold for a long time.
This is ridiculous. This is the type of people that just, believe it or not, give me no faith in the human race.
But Chad, you just answered your question. You were talking to, we had a caller on here who's trying to give valuable information. Yeah, he's repeating it over and over. We have another caller on here, Lisa, that's on here. She probably ran away. She's like, the hell with this. She had interesting things to say. And the thing of it is, this is what you got out there. And I invited all the militias across the country. And not one of them called me personally and said,
I heard
Joe,
Lisa challenge them earlier. Lisa was just telling them to get on here. If they don't get on here, shame on their ass. That last caller sits on hold for an hour and 40 minutes to act stupid.
We don't have any real meaningful dialogue with most of these people. And
no, you don't.
And it's sad because we want good input. We want good input. And we want,
but you're not going to get it over the internet, Chad. You're not going to get it over the Chad. But you want good input. But guess what? How do you talk to people through social media, then talk to them on their cell phone, and really trust who they really are? And you're asking people to give you good intel. What's going to happen 7 days from now? You mean to tell me you want these people to get trust to jeopardize their life, which they have done already, to jeopardize their life? Everything they own, all they are, to give intel on a show like this when you got people like that calling in that are listening? For God's sake, hell no.
Absolutely.
This isn't 1989 no more. This isn't 1979. This isn't 1985.
No. This is the information.
This isn't 1969. This is not 1969 anymore. There's no more. You know what? The greatest generation are our 95-year-olds. That's what they said. Even the corporate media told you they're the greatest generation, right? They're dying off by the freaking tens of hundreds every day, probably even getting a Corona Corona, whatever the hell you want to call it, Corona 19, whatever they're calling it today. You know, I mean, whatever it is, they're dying off. That's it, man. That generation was the last. Our World War II, that's where the last heroes,
Absolutely.
really, when you think about it. They were the last ones that fought and said, I will sacrifice. I pledge my life to my country. I'm 14 years old, and I'm going to lie. I'm going to say I'm 17 and 18 to get into the U.S. Army to go fight against tyranny. I'm going to lie at 14. Tell me, how many people are around like that today? No, we want to watch pornography on Facebook. Yeah, we want to get drunk at 9 o'clock at night. We want to do our drugs. We want to go to our concerts, right? I mean, and you're asking people to give
Monday
intel.
nights is your youth.
That's
what you're bringing up right there.
Everybody's waiting for the next best meme. Everybody's waiting for the next, shot of food on fucking Facebook. Everybody wants to see, hey, what did you do tonight? Me, I set my fat ass on the couch and watched TV, but it was so interesting.
Well,
get
guess
a
what?
freaking life and get out.
Guess what? It's over. Guess what? It's over.
Oh, by the way,
it's over because
nice.
we're watching
Here.
it. We're watching it happen.
760. Hey, see you, bro. Faggot,
get rid of them. Get rid of them. Yeah, hang on. 951. Go ahead. Let's see 951. We'll take 951. Go ahead.
Yeah, Joe. What happened to you becoming?
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
there we go.
Bastard.
And that's what they do. That's what they do. But anyway, look. Tonight we did a good, interesting podcast show. We exposed what the militia really was today in America. The militia is divided. We're against each other. We don't really know what we stand for, really, technically. I think that's what we exposed. And what we are is we hate each other. And we got the other guys out there, the lone wolves out there. Yeah, I'm gonna chop that sheriff's heads off. I'm gonna go to war tomorrow with the government. You're not gonna do nothing. You're gonna get up to work. And you're going to do what you got to do.
I mean, you have these people that are, getting on Facebook and they're posting about tyranny and, what they're going to do to the police officers and stuff like that.
The
bootlickers.
keyboard
And you know what?
They'll get on
I
there
want to see you.
Get on here and
I
talk.
want to see your badass get out in the middle of 5 cops and run your chops, because all that's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of clubs to the back of the head. They're going to drag your ass off to the next county jail.
Let's get to that. Hang on. Let's get to that. Look, let's talk about that real quick here to wrap up the show. Folks, you're right. You got the New World Order coming, but guess what? There are real patriots out there that are really still out there trying to sacrifice to save our republic. And this is a spiritual battle between good and evil, and how many good people are really out there. Ask yourself that. Listen, and if you hate me, if you hate this show, if you're here to disrupt the show, I want you to look in the mirror and say, am I really one of the good guys or am I the bad guy? I mean, if you're the bad guy, that's fine. At least you know where you stand. But you know what really sucks? If you're in the middle and you don't know which way you're going to go. Because you know what? I know I'm one of the good guys, and I believe wholeheartedly in what America originally was founded upon. Because I'll tell you what, I have done battle with even my own family, okay? And I don't care. I know what I stand for, and I love this republic. God bless the republic, and I really am what I stand for and who I am. And I say what I mean and mean what I say, and that's understanding the times in which you live today. And that's where we're going to end the show and wrap up the show. God bless our republic. God help us, please.
Absolutely.